Hey everybody, welcome to Valentine TV. Tonight's reaction is coming from KADISHALYNN. And I want to welcome all of y'all to Valentine TV. Please like, subscribe, share, hype it up if you can. Listen, okay, now last night I did a reaction and they was talking about like look, TMZ, the PI, and the LAPD. They're not agreeing on stuff. They're like each one is trying to get the forefront, be better than the other or something. Anyway, so the investigator, he had something to say earlier. It was just a repeat of, what it means to be frozen and then unthawed and stuff like that. But okay, so this is not about him. So I'm taking him out of the equation. So this is TMZ doubling down on because they said she was partially frozen, and excuse my language, rest in peace, Celeste. And I send all my condolences to the family. I'm sorry. It's just no easy way to say this stuff. Okay. So I want to just get it over with. Listen, TMZ doubling down saying she was partly frozen. The LAPD is saying no, she was not frozen, and she was not um um ch- cut cut up, right? But uh TMZ is saying yes, she was. Okay. So I'm gonna let KADISHALYNN explain some, and I'm gonna come back with my reaction, okay? Because I don't want y'all to think that I was saying false things last night when I reported on it, because no, I wasn't. And this will prove it right here. Okay. Here we go.
We are now getting clarity from the LAPD that this is a homicide investigation into what happened to Celeste, and also learning that there are witnesses or people who are cooperating with the LAPD, giving them information. As I reported last night, the LAPD did break their silence, and they were talking about a lot of different things and also disputing TMZ's reporting that Celeste was frozen and that her head was not intact. And on top of the Los Angeles Police Department coming out to the media outlets last night with all of this information, we also have them making and releasing an official statement today. The Los Angeles Police Department is aware of recent stories posted by various media outlets about the David Celeste Rivas investigation, and we would like to dispel some misinformation contained in their reporting. The body of Celeste Rivas was not frozen when it was discovered on September 8th, 2025, and she had not been decapitated. We have evidence that David traveled to Santa Barbara area sometime during the spring of 2025. The reason for that trip is still under investigation, and we've drawn no conclusion at this point about the relevance of this trip to this case. As far as the court order, the LAPD sought to seal the records of the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's investigation into the passing of Celeste Rivas. That order was only sought to ensure detectives learned of the important information surrounding her passing before the media and the public. The order was
sorry.
not sought to undermine transparency. No other information will be.
All right. So what y'all know what they're saying. So they're saying that the only reason they did that court order and the gag order and the stuff is that so we won't get information before the LAPD gets it. It's supposed to go to the LAPD, all stuff. And the PI was saying that he was giving the LAPD stuff and he didn't want to step on their toes. So every time he would find a little bit of information, he would take it to them. Right. But instead, I think that he was putting it, sending it to the blogs, and then the more famous, the more cloud, the more stuff we was looking at investigator Fisher, the more it probably went to his freaking head, and he just kept throwing out information. And so the LAPD probably said, forget that. Don't say nothing else. and went to the court to make him be quiet, even though he still had something to say last night or to the third day, because that was on the 20th. So today, was it 20? Anyway, but I'm gonna tell you this also: TMZ is doubling down. Still, even after this was came out, uh, TMZ doubled down. Yes, she was. Yes, she was partially frozen. Yes, she was. But I'm gonna tell y'all this also: if she was in that freaking car for weeks, right? Even if they put a, even if solid frozen, put her in there month, 2 months, she's completely thawed out, right? It's no. Let me let KADISHALYNN continue on, okay?
Provided at this time. But it's important to note some of the information that we are about to talk about is from the Los Angeles Times, and they are reporting of the court documents on why they sealed this case and how this case is being investigated by the LAPD. LAPD Detective Joshua Bowers, a veteran of the Robbery Homicide Division who is handling Celeste's case, filed a declaration in court on Friday that described their probe as an unaliving investigation. And the Los Angeles Times said that they saw these court documents, and this was the LAPD writing a declaration to the judge to try to get that security hold.
See, the court documents were reviewed by the Times. That's also a news outlet that let some stuff come out, right? And they saw it, and that's how we know about the gag order, all that stuff, right? This is a complicated case, okay?
Which was granted on Friday. Los Angeles
Okay.
Superior Court Judge Craig Richmond granted the LAPD's request and ordered that the medical examiner's findings be sealed. In this court declaration, the detective said that making the autopsy findings public would reveal or tend to reveal the ongoing investigation and the integrity of the investigation, as well as the identity of witnesses and or informants who are cooperating with law enforcement. The information they have provided could endanger the lives of witnesses or compromise the investigation.
Did you hear that? They said it could endanger the lives of witnesses and or compromise the investigation, but endanger the lives. So that means whoever is a dangerous individual that they already need to get off the freaking street. Oh my god. Yeah, and it's probably, with all of the leakage to the blogs and stuff, it's probably messing up. Yeah, it's probably scaring the informants, I call them. Okay. It's probably just scaring them, but they probably don't want to talk, and then with the investigator putting little kids under NDAs, that the people that were in the what you call that thing? The Reddit, he was putting them under NDAs, so they would only talk to him about whatever things they found or thought about, stuff like that. I don't think that was valid for underage children.
The judge then ordered that the declaration, supporting documents, and the court order itself be sealed and maintained in a secure location in the custody of the clerk of court until further order of this court. So we now have confirmation that the LAPD is handling this investigation as an unaliving investigation, and also that they are learning information from somebody that is close to this situation. This news is huge because it's something that we've never heard actually confirmed before. And not only was there articles wrote about this from the Los Angeles Times talking to the LAPD last night, they also gave an in-person interview voice recording. And this is them talking about TMZ specifically and other news sources reporting that Celeste was frozen and found without her head attached. I'll
Yeah,
just go ahead and play you this clip
listen.
from the LAPD talking about this, because I see the TMZ source is still disputing what the LAPD
TMZ
said and
double
still is
down.
claiming that Celeste was partially frozen.
The LAPD is pushing back against what it calls false reporting in the death investigation of Celeste Rivas. And tonight, investigators are still working to figure out the cause of her death. The commanding officer of LAPD's elite robbery homicide division says he's disappointed by what he calls misinformation from TMZ that's been picked up by other outlets in the death investigation of Celeste Rivas. The 14-year-old's body was found in the trunk of a Tesla belonging to singer David, whose legal name is David Anthony Burke. TMZ is reporting Rivas's body had been frozen. Captain Scott Williams disputed that and other reports on the case during an interview with KNX News Radio's Emily Valdez.
They're reporting that Celeste's body was frozen when it was discovered is untrue. Celeste was not decapitated. So I'm not sure exactly who their source is that's giving them this information.
The car was found abandoned in the Hollywood Hills in September. Williams also says detectives have no evidence Rivas's body was taken to Santa Barbara County for dismemberment.
Disappointing to me because all of this misinformation that's being put out there, it just creates additional work for my investigators that they have to do in order to get to the truth.
There are a lot of things you have to think about when it comes to
Yeah.
TMZ's false.
And I understand that too. It does make their work 10 times harder with false information being put out and everybody running off of it. And look, yeah. But listen, I was thinking this also. When they had her homegoing funeral, as some say, just they could tell then if she was like in that state, like if she was like, you know what I mean, dismember, or not. Seem like they'd be able to tell you then by just them having the funeral and the people whoever identified her body, But maybe that's why they said something about the mom and the dad, or just the her family being under the order also, right?
Reporting that LAPD is saying in their statements that make a
Yeah.
lot of sense. And as somebody that covers
it.
think about when it comes to TMZ,
It's
Sorry.
additional work for my
I
investigators
want
that
y'all
they
to hear
have
it
to
all.
do in order to get to the truth.
there are a lot of things you have to think about when it comes to TMZ's false reporting that LAPD is saying in their statements that make a lot of sense. And as somebody that covers this case, because we are literally talking about a child, it's really aggravating and disheartening to see TMZ doubling down with this source about this story. And like the LAPD says, they said, there is no evidence at all that she was frozen. But even if they were true, which they're not, it would make absolutely no sense. They're saying that Celeste was in this car for at least 5 weeks. The LAPD has confirmed that they believe the Tesla was parked for the very last time at the end of July. The same exact thing that we hear Steve Fisher, the PI, referencing that he has a video of. And if you take it from the date on 8/27 when they first came out saying that they got a 72-hour warning that it's been sitting in the same spot, you take 5 weeks from that, that would give you the end of July. And why I get so aggravated about this, okay, let's say TMZ had this source that came and he purposely gave them false information.
Thank you.
All right, understand that. But the fact that they are doubling down on this is just so aggravating. And honestly, in my opinion, it's sick. The LAPD is confirming this, but not only this, like the medical examiner said, once this investigation is done and they basically apprehend the suspect and it moves through in the legal process, we will know the details about what happened to Celeste. It's not going to be something that just stays under wraps and nobody's going to know this whole entire time. It's literally being kept secretive because of this investigation. They literally say why in what I covered just a little while ago. In my opinion, I highly doubt that we are going to have the LAPD just doubling down on the fact that this information is false and come out and say it's hurting and making it harder for our detectives to investigate this case. And I say this because They know, just like the medical examiner stated in his statement, it's not something that is going to be kept under wraps this whole time. Y'all let me know what you guys think about all this. And
So TMZ, they act like they can't take. You are not telling the truth. Leave the LAPD to do their job. I'm sure you can go and see all the film that y'all taking in the prison where Didi is. Okay, you got somebody running around there taking pictures or videos. I'm about to do that video next, y'all. Yeah, so you just do that, TMZ, and leave this case alone, so this little girl can get justice. Okay. Okay, so that's it. That's all I got for this. I just wanted to come back because of me telling that y'all that she was like frozen and and she wasn't. According to the LAPD, she wasn't. So that freezer must have been the wrong freezer or something. Or somehow they got her in the freezer. Maybe she wasn't like, I don't know. But anyway, that's all I got. Y'all heard the police report, and we're messing up the investigation. Uh, the the PI, TMZ especially. TMZ, chill out, chill out. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. You can find KADISHALYNN on YouTube. And also, I want to thank y'all for coming to Valentine TV. Please subscribe and like the video, please. Thank you so much. And I will talk to y'all later, okay? All right. Bye, y'all.